So we will offer you a more accurate phrase than "nothing matters." The phrase is, "What is false no longer matters the way it used to." That is different. The false incentives lose their charge. The false dramas lose their seduction. The false urgency loses its ability to command you. And in the space created by that loss, something true becomes louder. This is holy detachment. It is not emptiness. It is clearance. It is not nihilism. It is refinement. It is the revelation that you do not need to chase what cannot satisfy. Yet even refinement can be misread by the parts of you that have used chasing as a way to avoid pain. We will be direct. Some beings on earth have used spiritual concepts as a way to avoid their humanity, to avoid emotion, to avoid intimacy, to avoid accountability, to avoid the messy vulnerability of real relationships. This is what you might call spiritual bypass, and it is not new, but it is more visible now because the energies of your time are pressing all distortions to the surface. If you notice yourself using "nothing matters" to justify neglect, to justify coldness, to justify leaving people in pain without compassion, to justify abandoning your responsibilities without integrity, then pause. Not to shame yourself, but to become honest. True God contact does not produce avoidance. True God contact produces inner authority that is gentle and clear. It produces the strength to meet what is real. We also want to speak to the tempo of this shift because some of you have experienced what feels like a sudden drop-off in desire for things you once craved, and the mind can feel frightened by that because desire has been the motor for much of your life. It may have been a distorted motor, but it was a motor. So when that motor quiets, the mind can interpret it as "I am losing myself," when in truth, you are losing a false propulsion. In this corridor, you do not need to force enthusiasm. You do not need to pretend you are excited about things that no longer excite you. You do not need to fabricate meaning. Instead, you allow the deeper motive to emerge. You allow the new kind of desire to arise. Desire for truth, desire for God, desire for clean relationships, desire for simplicity, desire for sincerity, desire to live without inner fragmentation. This is a mature desire. It does not shout, it does not demand, it does not grasp, it guides. Because we are speaking to awakened beings, we will also name another layer. Discernment is not only about your internal state, it is also about what you are consuming. Your world is full of content designed to hijack attention, provoke outrage, manufacture fear, and keep the being in a constant loop of reaction. In earlier phases, many of you could consume this without immediately noticing the cost. In this phase, you will feel the cost quickly. Again, not as punishment, but as feedback. If you fill your inner space with agitation, conspiracy spirals, endless catastrophe narratives, and emotional contagion, you may interpret the resulting heaviness as spiritual warfare or energies, when in truth, you have simply fed your field with distortion. We say this without judgment. It is common, but your sensitivity now is asking you to become deliberate. Your life force is sacred currency. Spend it wisely.